Welcome back to the At Homeish podcast, creating spaces where we belong. Feels like it's been a long time since I've been in this seat, but we recorded a lot of episodes in advance, so I kind of got to knock the rust off of it a little bit and get ready for today's conversation. I know some of you who know me know that I've been going through some stuff lately, some medical stuff happening with family and looking to buy a house. Oh my God, that's a process. But all of that just really helped me to reflect on what it means to be at homeish from a mental perspective. What does it mean to be in a space where we feel comfortable and content and able to just be ourselves? Because there's just a whole bunch of folks going through it right now. And I really appreciate that. Right as we were getting ready to start the recording for this episode, the guest that I have today, we were talking about people going through it. And we'll hit some of that in our conversation today, but I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to him to let him introduce himself. This has been a conversation a long time in the making because we talk a lot off the mic, but
yes,
now
sir.
you get to hear a little bit of this. So
Yes.
Off to you.
Well, I feel like I have arrived because now I'm in the,
Welcome.
we're sharing this space right here, which I know is dear to you. You know, this is your baby. So I feel very privileged. Anthony Upchurch by way of Little Rock, Arkansas. I got stationed up here in December of 92. So stationed up on Whidbey Island.
Okay.
And, you know, everybody that I ran into at that time, they had this little saying. I don't know if you ever heard it. They say, Washington is like moss. It grows on you.
Right.
I was like, I don't know if that's a good sales pitch, but, you know, we'll play this out. And so fast forward, I get out of the military and go into school and raise my family here through the Marysville School District and set my roots here. So now I kind of feel like I'm not so much a transplant. Now I feel like I'm a native.
Right. Well, real quick, I do want to thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure.
And I also reflect on my story is similar. I guess I didn't pay attention to how close we were in age because you said 92. That's when I graduated high school and then joined the Army the following year in 93. And then when I got up here via the military through a spouse, I'm like, I'm on the other side of the country from Georgia. So we're also, you know, Southerners, you know. But to get up here and I'm like, okay, so what's this going to be like being here in the Northwest? Now, I had experience living in Alaska for a while.
Oh
yeah. When I was in the Army, I was stationed up there. And then I was stationed in Texas. And I'm like, I want to be somewhere in the middle. So I was already thinking somewhere like Seattle, Portland area. And so when I landed here, actually originally in Olympia, the moss grew on me. And I've been here almost 24 years. So I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's been good. It's been a good experience. It's been eye-opening. It was, I think the biggest culture shock to me was walking downtown Seattle and hearing, you know, 8 different dialects. And that was all new to me because, you know, from where I'm from, we only had 2 food groups, and that's deep fried and barbecue. So, I mean, it's just
right.
So to come here and to get now my favorite food is Indian food. Man, I can't get enough of that stuff.
Okay. You know, I had a really good curry soup over at the county campus. They have a little Just Us cafe there. Okay. And I didn't expect to see that there, but yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah. But that's so funny, deep fried and barbecue. But I feel I can relate to that. And I think I've shared it on here before. When we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, all that type of stuff. Yeah. Where I grew up, most people looked like me, you know? Yeah. And in my high school, the white students were absolutely the minority. And then it was, I think, my senior year that we had 2 Korean students in our school. That was it. There were no Spanish-speaking students. There were no students of any other Asian ethnicity. We didn't have anybody from, you know, that spoke a different language from any of the European countries, or there were no students from the continent of Africa. It was all black folks, a handful of white folks, and then the 2 Korean kids. And then there was the 1 albino kid.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's it. And so to be up here and people say, oh, well, we lack diversity. I'm like, what? Hold on. Like, there's a lot more here now than what it was when I was growing up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. There's a funny story with that. I'm home on leave.
Okay.
And I'm walking across this parking lot and I see this beautiful Asian girl, and I'm walking up and I'm anticipating an accent. She had more of a twang than I did. Coming out of a Asian girl. And I was like, I was glitching. Like my brain was glitching. I was like, what am I hearing? But it was so cool because she embraced the culture and she just acclimated. And I loved it. I love it.
I can really appreciate that because I do feel there are some people who may be critical in the sense of if someone maybe looks a certain way and then the way they speak or engage is reflective of a different culture, some people might look at that as assimilation in a negative sense, as opposed to embracing and adapting it to your environment. Because I think about how I grew up and I enjoyed my childhood, my youth for what it was.
Yeah.
And as I was exposed to other things in the world, I embraced other things, you know, and I did not necessarily view that as a bad thing. Now, on a similar note, I was just back in Georgia for the past couple of weeks. It's interesting, and I'm trying not to say this in a negative way, but I left Georgia almost 30 years ago to join the military. Actually, over 30 years now to join the military. And there were things that I feel I was intentionally leaving behind because I did not want my life to follow that path. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so in wanting to do something different with my life and feeling that I've created a whole different life for myself than what I would have anticipated, and then to be back in that space and see people in some of those same spaces, it's like, ooh, we talk about maintaining our culture, maintaining our identity, but does that put us in a place where we're able to be and access the things we want in life?
That was interesting because you have that gap in time for where your presence wasn't there and felt. And then you go back into that and being culture shocked for the simple fact that I remember going home and driving through Memphis and I'm seeing guys still with Jerry Curl bags on their head.
Right.
And I was like,
oh man,
wait, what? Like how much time has gone by? Because, you know, you feel like you've advanced. It's just like, okay, things are still kind of like moving at the same pace when I left. But the other side of that is that some people have gotten into the fact that you go into a room and just because everybody looks different, but everybody sounds the same, you know, their attire is similar and all that. Because when they assimilated, I think they lost some of their culture. And that goes back to what you were talking about, maintaining that. So you're actually contributing to that space.
Right. Yes.
You're not decreasing or losing yourself to feel accepted or to feel included in that same space and room.
Yeah, that's so important. You have to maintain your identity and at the same time understand what it looks like to be in different spaces. Because I think about, this was back when I was working in schools and there was someone who had moved into an area from another part of the country. And I just think about some conversations I've had with people where there's some people who move out to the country because they want a slower pace of life, you know? They want it to be quieter. They want to be connected with their neighbors. That's just what they want. And when I think about, and I'm trying not to stereotype folks from the city, but I'm not really a city person. I'm not that person that wants to have to fight to find parking or be in a lot of crowds or dealing with a lot of the normal noise of city life. So if that is what someone is more comfortable in or accustomed to, and then they come out to the country or to the suburbs and they're still trying to be loud and out there. And it's like, I'm not looking at you negatively as a person, but your behavior doesn't quite fit the environment here. That's just something I reflect on from time to time.
That's where that phrase "read the room" comes from. Like, hey, read the room.
Yeah. Yeah, I was using the term for a while, social literacy. Yeah, because if you walk in a space and it's like everybody looking at you sideways, like, why y'all looking at me? Like, well, read the room. Are you understanding what this space is for and what's going on here? We're not wanting to necessarily make you not feel welcome or not feel at home-ish. Had to use the title there.
Nice plug.
But it's like, when you walk into my house, if I ask you to take your shoes off in my house, I want your shoes off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't expect you to come in, put your feet up on the furniture, eating Cheetos on my white couch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to some extremes there, but it's like, you can't just go everywhere and act whatever kind of way. Read the room and really understand how you can best interact with the people who are there. Not to say that, again, not that you have to give up who you are, but understand when you come into a space, how are we going to engage with each other?
Yeah. You remember them conversations you used to have? It's like, okay, before we walk into this house, don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing. Oh. You ain't hungry. And you better not even look at that food.
Yeah. Hey, we going to Big Mama house this weekend. Now, you know, when you go over there, you better act right.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Oh.
See? Oh. You know.
Oh. And it's always like somebody... She can always cook, so she always have like pies and cakes like over in the glass container on the so it's like out on display, and you just looking and just
yeah. Oh, and boy, you better not touch that food for granddaddy eat.
Ooh. You talk about grandfathers. My grandfather had a pet peeve. If you smacked at his table, he would collect all his stuff up, go in his room and close the door. He wouldn't even say nothing.
Oh.
He just like, whoop, and he just pack up his stuff and go in his room, close the door, and everybody just does that awkward silence. Oh, was I smacking? Yeah, you were smacking. Oh, my bad. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm glad you bring that up too, because I think about even when I was younger with my dad. I think it's interesting when we meet with people, and you know, people was brought up differently, right? I didn't live in a household where we was just loud and running all over the place. It's like, boy, if you're gonna be running around and be loud, you need to take your butt outside, right? Okay. See, your head tilting, your eyes told me, yeah, you got that similar thing. And so I think about, you know, having friends around here and kids running in and out the door slamming and yelling and screaming. Thank you for that expression, because I'm like, that's not what I grew up with. And I think about my dad specifically. He worked a split shift. He drove a bus for the city. And so he was up at like 4:00 in the morning, getting on that first route. Yeah. Then he'd come home in the afternoon, have some food, watch some TV watch him because he'd fallen asleep. Yeah. You know, and then he'd go back to work, right? But when we came home from school, and if he was still there, you didn't come in the house all loud because he was resting, he was chilling. And so, again, to be around people where it's like, oh, I just love the laughter and the children playing. And I'm like, ooh, like, we get kicked out of the house doing
outside.
That.
Yeah. You couldn't come in. Well,
oh man.
Two things. You didn't want to go in because you might have to take a nap.
Oh. Or clean.
And that was the second one. Or she's like, oh, I'm glad you in here. Do me a favor. Go over there. And your friends in the middle of the street looking in the window like, hey, you coming back outside? Yeah. 1 second.
And don't be the one, because I'm having a flashback now. You triggering some memories here. We sitting outside playing football, and then somebody catch the ball. Their mama calling, hold on, I'll be right back. Well, don't take the ball with you. Leave the ball here.
Oh, yeah.
And they take the ball in the house. Next thing you know, they sitting there cleaning windows. And it's like, hey, and you don't want to go knock on the door and ask for the ball because, like you say, I'm so glad you came over. Can you help him with this?
Oh, yeah.
We trying to play. We're not trying to do that right now.
That's where we learn how to talk under our breath.
I learned real quick. You don't talk under your breath. You don't think about talking under your breath, because my mom, I love my mom. I'm hoping she get better here real soon. But I remember being in the shoe store, right? In 1981, I did not want those Chuck Taylor Converse. I did not want them. I wanted those Nikes because the Nikes look cool, right?
Yeah.
And but the Chuck Taylors was on sale, okay? And my mom was looking at the Chuck Taylor. She's like, and she's asking the person if they have them in my size. And I inhaled a little hard, like, And she's like, boy. I'm like, so right there, it was stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let it be a grumble. Don't let it be a exhale. It's like you sucking in air, like you about to let air out, like you want to say something, or you thinking something that don't agree with what I'm doing. Oh,
Seriously, man. Oh man, mom had skills. She could backhand you in the car.
Oh my God!
And do a hand signal and then wave at a church member. It's just like, and then they deny it. I didn't hit you that hard. See this right here? This was from '86. This right here.
Yeah, right. And it's funny you mentioned that too, because I was thinking about my daughter. Now, my daughter didn't grow up with me, but we were hanging out right after she graduated high school, and there was something that happened in the restaurant, and she made an expression, and then she said something, and the first thought that came to my mind, and again, I love my mom, but my mom raised me where it's like, boy, you don't act a fool. My immediate thought of my daughter was, you grew up without my mom's backhand. Because I have been programmed over the years, like, don't show it on your face. Don't say it. You can think it, but you better not say it. Right? And you determine what your next course of action is going to be to make sure everybody gets home safely. Like, we good. We're not trying to, get in any kind of arguments or any kind of scuffle or altercations up here in this restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, whatever you did just annoyed the crap out of me, and I can't believe you did that in public. However, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to drink my soda. I'm going to finish up my apple pie, and I'm going to go on about my business. But, I think that brings up a good point where how many videos, maybe I spend too much time on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, whatever, all these videos of folks getting in fights in restaurants or, at different places because somebody said something or looked at somebody a certain way. And it's like, my mom's backhand could have fixed all that.
Bro, I don't even go to the club because I remember.
What club? I'm too old for the club. I ain't trying to do that.
Well, I mean, happy hour.
Okay, occasionally.
Happy hour.
We like to be happy.
But I remember being in the military. There's always one that can't hold their liquor.
Oh.
And he always says the same thing. Why are you looking at me? Oh, we got to go. Let's go. Everybody get your key,
Yeah.
And we start grabbing people and we have to leave because it's that discipline or that home training where you got to remember where you at. Not just out of fear, but just out of reverence because of who's your last name. Because you might be at school, you might be on the bus, you might be in the airport, and you hear like, aren't you so-and-so's kid? Child?
Oh, no.
Don't maybe call your mother. And just like, that's the last thing. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't call my mama.
Yeah.
Do not call her. Because if she come off that job, and they always had that same phrase, wait till we get home. Oh, the whole day is shot.
Oh.
It could be 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, Lord.
Wait till we get home.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, I'm 51 years old now, and I hear that now, and my whole body like, like I don't hear that. No.
Oh. Yeah. And then they say, "Oh, your kids are so well behaved," and we all looking at her. Those kids, those days, they was like, "Do you know my mom?" I'm like, I don't think you know. You call her a friend, but I don't think you really know her.
Yeah.
Like I know her. So it's like, there's a reason why we're not moving, and we haven't moved for the last 3 hours off this couch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. You taking me back.
But you know what? It's, like I said, it's not out of fear, it's out of reverence because there was just a level of respect because I saw how my mom conducted herself around her mom.
Yes.
And so when grandma moved, everything stopped, head pops up because my grandmother had one word. She would let you play, and then all of a sudden we would tussle and stuff would get out of hand, and she would say, "All right." Oh. That's all it takes. And because we're looking to see where she's at, to see if we're within striking reach, it's like, okay, we pushed her too far. We just had to make sure we out of range so I can get to the door, or at least get outside or something. But there was a level of respect that went without saying. It was like there were grown men that wouldn't walk across my grandmother's grass.
Oh no.
it was like that level of respect. It was like, no, we're going to watch your house. Don't worry about it. And it was just a different time. Now you can't even give somebody, positive reinforcement.
Right.
You say, oh, you look nice today. So what you say? I didn't look nice yesterday?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
What? How did we go to that extreme?
Right.
And so now we at a point to where we just do the head nod.
I see you.
Yeah. Come on. And we just keep it moving because it's like, I don't have the capacity. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't understand. And and that's the thing about the military. I really appreciate it. And I say everyone should go through the military, at least do 2 years. So you can see what it's like to have your identity removed and you operate in a different identity where everybody's moving in the same purpose. And I know people have mixed feelings on the military, how the military is being used.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I went into the military at a time where it was like, you can go to jail or you can go into the military.
Yeah.
So you didn't know who you were sleeping next to. Now times have changed, but even with that type of individual I'm working with, that was an understanding and a level of respect. It's like, okay, we might not get along. We might not agree with each other, cultures, but we got a job to do because I want to go home. I want to enjoy my liberty or my free time, my off time. That's my time. So any minute that we go over that we need to get this done, you on my time.
Right.
And I need my time to get away from y'all to decompress so I can come back and do this again tomorrow. And it was a mutual respect to be like, okay, we don't have to like each other. We don't have to get along, but we got a job to do.
Yeah.
And that was a thing about in the military, whether whether you're seeing conflict or not, everybody had that same mutual agreement. That's why if you see a military person walk into a coffee shop wearing a hat, it's like people recognize the hat before they even recognize the person. Be like, oh, thank you for your service. It's like this different emotion washes over you because like, I don't know what that person has seen. I don't know what they've been through, but it may or may not be to the magnitude that my life has experienced. And they have some of the best stories. That's why I love seasoned individuals. I love sitting down here because they have some great stories. They have great stories. And being in the military, even though it's 2 years, it goes by quick. But you get to see different cultures, like when we would have like company picnics and stuff like that, and everybody would bring their ethnicity to the table.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
So somebody bring lumpia, somebody would bring, I don't know, tacos, somebody would bring fried chicken, and we would all partake.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we would all partake. Every so often I get to experience that here. And I think that's the reason why food is such a level playing field.
Yeah.
Because when we're breaking bread together, it's like, even though you might be in a bad circumstance or a bad situation at that time, but it's like that comfort food and we're sitting across the table from each other. We have like a neutral ground, like ground zero, if you will.
Yeah.
Where we can be like, man, this is really good. Have you been here? Have you tried this? Like, this is amazing. And it impacts everybody and it hits the same.
Yeah. But, I think, we're talking about just finding that commonality. We all got to eat, and I don't think any of us want to eat bad food. So, come together around good food and community. Hey, yeah, let's do it.
Facts.
But I do love the fact that you brought up the military because we're going to go down that path for a minute. There's two different things I want to talk about. The first thing being in relation to how we were talking about mom, grandma, granddad, all that, because just a couple of days ago, this is while I was in Georgia because I'm just flipping channels. That's, that's what we tend to do down there. But Saving Private Ryan was on.
Okay.
I haven't watched that movie in a long time, but it was a favorite when it came out. I mean, it was just like that movie was intense. And then near the end of the movie, the line from one of the characters, a main one, where he said, "Earn this," and yeah, I was watching that movie and, the storyline of, hey, we came to get you and you need to earn this, earn what happened. It really made me reflect on being in Georgia at the time. Every time I go to Georgia, I visit the King Center.
Okay.
While I was there, the eternal flame was vandalized. There was someone who urinated in the fountain. And it was just like, are you kidding me right now? You know, because when I think about whatever politic, social thing is going on, there are people who dedicated their lives to ensuring that we all had access to education. Let's say just in general, education, jobs, healthcare, freedom. People have lived, fought, and died for that. Mm-hmm. And so going back to that Saving Private Ryan scene where he said, earn this, how can we look at people who are currently in the fight, people who have been in the fight, and be acting all out of pocket?
Which goes back to if everybody had done 2 years, they would at least have a reference point. That's why I said not everybody is going to see that level of conflict. But they'll understand because you'll hear those stories. Because when you're in the military, you're privy to information or other people that can be like, you have to understand this is why we do it this way. Because if you don't do it this way, it'll cause a ripple effect over here. Yeah. And it'll impact other things, which will derail the whole mission. Is, you know, because people really don't understand like being off 1 degree, navigating a boat.
Yeah.
And they try to apply it to life. It's the same. It could be, you could be off a minuscule.
Yeah.
And that aircraft carrier will take, hours to get back on track.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember a church sermon years ago, and the whole theme was a trip to Tahiti. I've never been to Tahiti. I want to go. Okay. But
take me with you.
Okay, let's do it. And Trent can come too. Come on. We're going to sit up on the beach. We're going to chill.
Yes, sir.
So he was talking about, here we are near Tacoma, Washington. That's where I was at the time. And he's like, let's say we're taking a flight to Tahiti. Now look at the globe here. Look at where Tahiti is. And if you're off by 1 degree, you're going to end up way over here in the middle of the ocean, nowhere near where you're trying to go.
Right.
And so you need to be precise in your actions to get to your destination. And I love that he was talking about that through the lens of the church. I'm not a super religious person at this point. Don't think I was then either. But it's like, if we talk about the path we're supposed to walk to get to our destination, you walk that line. You don't deviate, right? Yeah. But that takes me to the other point I wanted to bring up about the military, because I served in the military and you did too. And I am not anti-military, and I would love to do some research maybe, or maybe someone just come tell me, save me some time. Is there any religion in the world that has some statement about killing? And what I mean by that is, I was thinking when I was in Georgia, it bothered me a little bit when people would, say, hey, whatever, however, and then as you're leaving, the message is, well, now you be safe. And I'm like, be safe? What you mean be safe? But like every day there was some shooting on the news, and I'm like, oh, be safe. Don't be somewhere where you gonna get shot, right? And I'm like, that hurts. But it really made me reflect on the commandment, and I don't remember all 10. Somebody else will probably, comment on it. But the primary thing of thou shalt not kill.
Yeah.
That's one of the commandments, right? Okay, cool.
Correct.
Cool. And so if that is a commandment that's rooted in our religion, then thinking about the military, whose job it is to an extent, go kill, is like, can we think of something differently? Because I even think about our leaders, and our elected leaders. No, they aren't killing, but they are engaging in activity that is leading to the loss of life of others. And so what does it mean now to embrace some ideology where we actually work to sustain life as opposed to taking it?
It's interesting that you use that, because we see in text where it talks about sheep, the shepherd,
yes,
or headship. We talk about the shepherd and the sheep. Well, the shepherd has no intention on killing that day, but he's always ready and prepared.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's a threat to the fold or to the flock, he is prepared not only to stand in the line of danger between said wolf and his sheep. Mm-hmm. So he's already sacrificing his life, but he also has to be willing to kill or take a life to neutralize that threat so the flock, stays safe. And you can look at that in a couple different ways because sheep are known to be, stupid. They just they're oblivious.
That's a whole different conversation talking about sheep.
Yeah. But I think that's the reason why, because, but also saying that when every soldier signs up, they understand that at some point in time, their name or their number could get pulled to where they have to volunteer their life. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where the biggest disconnect is because that soldier, whether he returns home to his family or not, they still respect his decision before he left.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so it's that unknown where we still have hope in all of that. But when we talk about, because primarily when you talk about religion and faith, the $1 million question they always ask, well, if God is such a good God, how would he allow something bad to happen? Mm-hmm. And it took some time for people to digest it. But my response is, because that's the only time we see humanity. Mm-hmm. And so for everything to be good, we don't appreciate that good life. Mm-hmm. We don't appreciate that good life. Like, imagine if everybody in Snohomish had $10 million. Could you imagine the attitude when they pull up and there's one parking spot left, or they get into the store or they're buying coffee and they have to wait? You know who I am? Mm-hmm. It changes that whole dynamic. And so the other part of that is you remove choice. Because now, if I give you everything and you don't have to think, look at ChatGPT. Like, people are legit turning their brains off.
Yeah.
And it's a great tool.
It can be.
It can be a great tool. But when it's getting to a point to where your whole life is being filtered through a prompt, that's dangerous. Because I even saw a video where these two podcasters put their phone on speakerphone and asked it, how would you take over the world? And it walks through step by step how you would do it. And at the end, guess what it said? He said, I won't have to ask. You'll want me to.
Oh.
To take over the world. And we're not that far removed from that.
Yeah.
So when we look at the point of killing, I mean, I never want to take a life, but I got kids.
Right.
And I remember when my kids were little and I would get up in the middle of the night and just walk the halls.
Okay.
I would just walk the halls just out of a father's nature. I hear a sound. Okay, let me go check that out. It could be across the street in somebody else's neighborhood, but I still have to go and confirm so I can return, protecting the flock again.
Yeah.
But if there was a threat coming through the door, somebody is going to get notified that day that they have a loved one that's no longer here. Because at that point, they've made a decision to bring that threat into my home. And so now it's either my child, my daughter, or this person that's standing at the other end of the hall, and I'm standing between my child's door and that person standing in the hallway just trying to get access.
Yeah.
What do? Are you negotiating at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
With somebody standing in your hall?
There's no negotiating at that point.
There is no negotiating. And then we filter out the rest later. But when I went to bed to lay my head down, I had no intention on taking a life.
Right.
I was enjoying dinner with my family, and we breaking bread, discussing the day. That's the reason why. That's another topic that you should probably touch on. Dinner around the table. That is a family core value that has been removed, where now it's the TV, phone, the screens, all that stuff.
Yeah.
With the meal.
Yeah.
So now you're sharing all that time.
Right. But I appreciate you saying the family core values, because I think back to a conversation I was having with someone I used to report to, and they would tell me that the vision that I have seems so far away from where we currently are. And we have to walk people to get to that point, because some people can't see what it actually means to be there. And so when I think about the whole concept of thou shalt not kill, what does it mean to create that environment where I'm not worried about somebody coming in my house at night, you know? And I feel that even ties into what you were just expressing about sitting around the table as a family. What is it that we're doing with our family, with our youth, within our community to minimize the chance for someone going down this pathway of wanting to break into someone else's home and cause harm?
Yeah.
And so that part of that vision here where it's like, can we get to this point of, I'm not trying to hurt nobody, and I know that nobody's trying to hurt me. Now, we are not in that reality. We know that. We're not there. And looking at the story of the Bible, we ain't been there for a long time. And what could it take to get there?
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about walking somebody through it, I always use the scenario of Seattle traffic. I said, you notice traffic is backed up and it's a parking lot, nobody's moving, and then you're moving slowly. And then you pull up to the scene and it's a 3-car pileup, ambulance. There's, a body covered, and all of a sudden, all that anger and anxiety and all that, when you were a half a mile back and you couldn't see anything, and you were still in the unknown, and now you know what the unknown was. You're not upset anymore. You're like, oh my God, I hope they're okay. I hope everybody walked away. I hope, a car can get replaced. I hope, no kids were injured, all that starts going through your mind. So that's where that humanity comes from, is what I'm talking about. It's always there, but it's so suppressed by social media and what's either the story being told or the story that's being fabricated, that's being served to us. All of that is suppressing that humanity. And then it comes out because it's a rush. You're not thinking about, I wonder if there was an accident today, what would the outcome? You're not thinking about that.
Right.
You're not thinking about it until you're in the midst of the situation. And that's where we see humanity.
Right.
I think the greatest example of that, when you're talking about, the child rearing and the values and the level of respect we had in the community, it was Hurricane Katrina.
Ooh, yeah.
And a lot of people missed it, but there was a specific scene in a news broadcast where it was a little black girl and a little white girl, and they were sitting on a park bench where a church, it was like an all-white church. They opened up their doors to the community, and there was a little black girl and a little white girl sitting there eating a bologna sandwich. And I was like, you wouldn't have seen that if that tragedy hadn't happened.
Oh.
So you talk about breaking a barrier.
Right.
In that community that's been there for decades.
Right, for sure.
People would drive through, but they wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Mississippi. There are some parts where it's just like, you can come over here and do business. But when sunset, don't let the sun, that's where that came from.
The sundown towns.
Don't let the sun set on you. Make sure you're back on the other side because it's a problem. And it was mutual respect because it was on the other side too. It was like, hey, you can come over and hang out, but you just, hey, it's getting late. You got to start making your way home.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But it was that level of respect where a grandmother could walk in a grocery store or be walking out. Excuse me, ma'am, do you need help with that? You need some help with that? Oh, thank you, baby. I can manage. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Or you be hanging out, in a parking lot, and all of a sudden you pulling your pants up or you fixing, yes, how you doing? Yes, ma'am. How you doing? Good to, okay, y'all boys be good. You boys be safe.
Yeah.
Because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got shot at. My butts was supposed to go to work and go straight home. I can hear her voice right now. She was like, don't go nowhere else. Don't be hanging out in the street. Don't be hanging out. She said, bring your butt straight home. Yes, ma'am. What I do? It's an hour before.
Hard-headed.
It's on the it's on the way home.
No.
Is it? I told that story at the Martin Luther King celebration in the gym. I shared this story and I said,
okay.
And I got up and everybody dusting themselves off, checking for holes. Because it was, he let off a spray of bullets.
Wow.
And everybody's getting up and we're checking each other. You good? You good? That was real.
Yeah.
My mother always told me this. She said, if you get arrested, lose my number because I'm not coming. You was either doing something you had no business doing or you was somewhere you weren't supposed to be. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And I believed it. Now, would she probably have done it?
Right. Yeah.
Odds are, I didn't want to test that theory.
Yeah, we had a similar conversation when I was a kid. And I've been talking to folks about that as I've, gotten more connected with Department of Corrections about, how we're working to support people in the communities. And I was like, it's hard for me sometimes, or challenging for me to engage in some of these conversations, because my mentality growing up was to not do the things that put me in those situations. Yeah. And absolutely, I want to work to support people who are coming out of the criminal justice system. Mm-hmm. But I'm like channeling my mom and my dad, like, okay, what was you doing? Why was you somewhere you weren't supposed to be, doing something you weren't supposed to do? Mm-hmm. And now you got your butt in a sling, as my dad would call it, Yep. But I think I do want to hit this, because you said something I felt that was really powerful about sitting in traffic, right? Mm-hmm. And then getting up to that point and seeing what actually occurred. Mm-hmm. Now, I agree. We're not doing the 3 a.m. negotiations if somebody's at my house. Mm-hmm. And from my behavior intervention and support background, what happened to this person to get them to where they're at that point? Yeah. Because everybody's got a story that leads them on that road, and it may or may not make sense to us sometimes. Mm-hmm. But when we get to the end of that traffic and we see like, oh, this is what your uncle did to you. This is what happened when you were hanging out at this party. This is what, there's so many different layers to it. I think back, even in my own story about how, my dad wasn't in my life. My stepdad was there and, mm-hmm. Great man, and he helped raise me. Yeah. But then when I think about some of these boys, even these boys that's in their 40s and 50s, that maybe didn't have a man or mm-hmm. father figure in that house raising them, right? And now they off doing boyish things. Oh, this was your accident right here. This is what caused whatever this traffic was that didn't allow us to get to where we're trying to go. Yes.
Oh, man. And that's the reason why when you look at, because so many times we make that assumption, because when you talk about prison, I remember going to students of color. Yeah. I want to say it was last year, 2024. Okay. And I told them, I said, I don't want to make the assumption that you have both parents in the home. Right. So by me saying or me speaking from my background, because you have these adults sitting up in the front of the room telling them about their successes and their struggles and all this. Yeah. I'm just like, but the foundation, I said, so I don't want to make that assumption. I said, if you do not have a mentor or a role model in your life, I said, you need to get one. I said, because I have 3. Yeah. I have 3. And I just met with one of them yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I still check in. But, those are the type of people that could call me 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and I'm only asking one question. Mm-hmm. And Jay knows this to his core, because he knows if he reaches out and say, hey, I need you, bro. I'm in the car because I'm only asking, what's your location? Yeah. And I'm on the way. Mm-hmm. Those type of relationships are kind of few and far in between.
I agree. Yeah.
And it's because of vulnerability and trust. Most guys don't trust. Mm-hmm. They don't. And it's like, because in order for me to do this, now I'm being vulnerable to you. And now at some point, could you use this against me? Yeah. Or could you go and tell somebody else and they use this against me? Or now I'm in a vulnerable spot or position in front of a group of people that I know nothing about, and they don't really know nothing about me except through your lens. Mm-hmm. And so if we keep all that stuff in, and that's from my grandfather. My grandfather didn't talk about the war. He suppressed all of that. Mm-hmm. And so you pass it to the next generation, So we get conditioned to, you just push through it. You just, okay, that was a right. That was a growing pain. That was an issue. We just gonna put that in a box and put that over there and keep moving. But now you have kids in the home. You're leading a spouse. You are managing a team at work. You're, you're in the community, impacting other people's households, and you got all that pain on you and all that. You can only be hard for so long. Yeah, and strong. And then you hear, he was so quiet. He was such a nice guy. We don't know what caused him to go off and drive through a building or go and do, do some heinous crime. It's like, yeah, my neighbor was so nice.
Yeah.
But we have all that stuff suppressed. And like I said, then we pass it on to the next generation. Mm-hmm. And so by being involved in the community like you are, much respect to that, and being in these school districts and being in front of these other students so they can have access to other people outside their home, or so even if it's non-existent, because like I said, I don't want to make the assumption that they have a support system in their home, because like I just came from that fundraiser, Clothes for Kids in Linwood. They was raising funds for kids who couldn't go and buy clothes.
Right.
They have to go there. And so they might not even have that supporting cast, whether the parents are equipped or whether they're just disconnected like their parents were disconnected with them, and that's all they know. You have so many variables. At the moment you say hi and you extend your hand, my name is. You don't know what all that comes with. And that's why most guys, we just show up. You know, do I need to be your cheerleader, your coach? Do I need to be your hype man for the day? Like, what you need from me?
Yeah.
And we just do that. And then we walk away and go our separate ways. Well, we don't really check in with each other like, man, last week was rough. Or I'm struggling. Like I remember saying that out loud to somebody. He's like, man, how you been? I ain't seen you in a while. I said, bro, I'm struggling. And that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And he stopped in his tracks. And he was like, let's talk.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
And we just went for a walk, and he was like, man, like, look, let's connect, let's meet later on this week, let's check in. But it still takes a village. It still takes a village. I haven't met a successful person yet that didn't have somebody, along the way, give them a hand up or a leg up or an introduction, or give them access to a space that they didn't have access before, to get them to the person that they are today. And so many times, because of that lack of trust and that vulnerability, we don't know what the need is. So now we're doing this 50 questions like, hey, do you have your essentials? Do you have food in the house? Do you have, are you working? Are you able to provide for yourself? How's your mental health? That's why mental health is such a big issue right now.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic, and it will be a hot topic for so long, because people, because of COVID, they had to deal with themselves for the first time. Because they couldn't just get up and just go to a party or go to somebody else's house and hang out and be like, hey man, what you doing? I'm coming over.
Right.
You didn't have those options. So you had to sit in yourself and deal with that. And now people are coming out of that and now trying to figure out, how do we get along with each other? Forget race, forget politics, forget religion and all that. Just how are we going to deal with one another? So when I go to the store, when I go for a walk, I'm not always on guard.
That's the question right there. And when I think about the theme of the podcast, At Home-ish, it's about spaces where we belong. Like, what does that mean wherever we are? Whether it's the grocery store, whether it's at work, whether it's in a community, in a different community, at a concert. I go places and I'm constantly on alert, because you don't know how folks going to act in this day and age.
Yeah.
And so, mental health is so important. I do want to, for a minute, back up a bit, because we covered a lot of stuff. but we always do. And I greatly appreciate that. I feel that the track of this conversation is so different than other conversations I've had before, because we know each other, we're comfortable with each other. And so we just kind of just jump right on into, two Southern boys up here doing our thing.
Yes, sir.
And we didn't really get a chance to talk much about you and what type of work you do, because I do want to highlight that as well. Because I do want to make sure that there's some important work that you do that people need, that because people aren't often vulnerable about their needs, that they can miss out on that. And so can we just take a few minutes real quick before we get ready to wrap up here?
Absolutely.
And just share kind of the work that you do, because you and I are going to be talking soon.
Yes. So I've been affiliated with a company called Legal Shield since 2011. And so I've been affiliated with Legal Shield because at the time I had teenage drivers. And I was concerned about my insurance rates, being dad,
so.
trying to watch the bus, trying to be responsible. And so I got introduced to that, and having access, not just for me, but also for my kids. Because my whole concept, in fatherhood is making sure they have all the tools that are available, how can I make them accessible at their level? Because my needs are different from theirs, but not to have access, that's just like telling a student they could be great, but you don't give them no books.
Mm-hmm.
You can be the great, whatever it is that you want to be, you can be that, but then you don't give them access.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that in my absence, I had tools and resources readily available for them. So if they needed it, see if an accident, altercation at school, stopped in a store, or being detained in a store, they could pull out their phone and hit an emergency button and be on the phone with an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
That's unheard of. And a lot of parents, we've seen it. We've seen it on TV where they didn't have access. So that prevented them from knowing what their rights were.
Right.
And that's why I use my tagline all the time. If you don't know your rights, you really don't have any.
Makes sense.
Because when do you typically find out what your rights are?
Never do you?
When they're being violated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the reason why I'm so driven behind the cause of providing equal access to every household.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, at the minimum, we should be treated as such. And I know we're working to get to that. I don't know how much work it's going to take to get there, but having access to talk to an attorney is powerful. And the fact that I can provide that and it's affordable enough so any level of household, no matter what their social status is, they can still make it work to where they can afford it and have access to it as well.
Yeah. Important stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we're talking briefly about trust and wills.
Yes. So those is 3 different tiers. So from $30 to $50. Because I know a lot of people will be like, well, this all sounds good, but how much is it? So from $30 to $50, you can have unlimited counsel. You can get your will done, power of attorney, healthcare directive, and tax assistance, and 24-hour access, because I talked about the emergency button. The emergency button, having that in your car with you while you're driving is worth the price of admission. We've seen far too many stories where somebody has been pulled over where they're thinking it's a simple traffic stop. Come to find out, somebody has used their identity, didn't show up for court.
Oh.
Now they have a bench warrant, and now you're being asked to step out of the car. I was like, but I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I don't understand. And you just see nothing but confusion from the cop and from the person in the car that's operating the vehicle. And it just goes south very quickly. Whereas you can hit an emergency button and be talking to an attorney, and the attorney can de-escalate that real time so you can get home safely. Not just get home, but get home safely. And you not have that trauma in your life. Now, we can't avoid, mishaps happening because life is life. So there's always going to be barriers or something that we're going to have to overcome. That's what makes us great as human beings. But to have the tools and resources readily available makes the difference from those have and those that have not.
Okay. Give me something to think about there. So to end on a much lighter note, I feel, I'm going to put you on the spot. Have you listened to the podcast at all?
I have.
Okay. So you know what the closing question is, right?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to hit you with another one real quick, though, first.
Okay.
And I remember I was thinking about this because this was one of the questions I asked when we first got started, because it's the title of the podcast. And we talk about creating spaces where we belong. What does it mean for you to feel at home-ish? What do you need to feel at home? Feel like you belong somewhere?
To be able to be myself. So whether I can laugh, talk, be a confidant, be just a listening ear, be still, just to be present for somebody else. So I can be myself, because a lot of times we think we're showing up for somebody else, but we didn't ask permission.
Yeah.
So by being present and being your true authentic self, you don't miss out on those opportunities, because when you're guarded, your mind is processing different scenarios. Especially from the military, we learn how to process information very quickly so we can make a decision and act upon it.
Right.
But when you're not being conditioned or not in that environment where you can actually relax and be at ease, no pun intended.
At ease. Right. Yes.
But we can really show up for, those that are in our circle of influence and in our community. We can show up for them authentically. So when I see you on the street, or when I see you and I pick up from the last conversation, be like, hey, how was your trip? Hey, how was your mom? Hey, is there anything that you need? Because I saw you over here But I heard that, I heard either on Facebook or whatever or from your, another conversation. So I'm just checking in on you.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's all about being ourselves. Yeah. Okay. So now the question. If there was a theme song that played when you walked into a room, or if you were baseball, I know there's some people sour about baseball right now, your walk-up music. Sorry. What would that song be?
Maze, We Are One.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just simply said. Why is that your song?
Because we are. I mean, even though I know you now,
yeah.
But if I saw you out somewhere and you was in duress or something like that, because my grandmother used to always say this, you're only a prayer away.
So true.
You're only a prayer away. You might be up today. Tomorrow, you could be down. You're employed today. You could be unemployed next week. So do what you can while you can.
Yeah.
So I remember that. So I don't need to know you in order to serve you or show up for you or to help you or assist you in that moment. It could even be a good moment and we're celebrating. How many times you seen somebody singing happy birthday and you just chime in?
Right. Because that's what we do.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so you attach yourself or you associate yourself with that family for that moment in time to celebrate that person. No different than you seeing somebody struggling with some groceries or a bag, trying to either get them in their car, out of their car. Like, do you need some help? Can I help you?
Yeah. Love that. That's a good note to wrap up on. I do want to take a moment to just thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, it was an honor.
Is there anything that you want to share with the audience or remind them of as like a closing message?
Oh, my favorite quote.
Okay.
You want to find out what you're full of? Pour it into somebody else.
Ooh. Okay. I can dig it. Thank you all for listening to this episode. As always, we ask you to like, share, tag, comment, because we got to get more listeners. I do want to real quick make sure I acknowledge that I'm not the only voice up here. I have the great honor of being part of the Snohomish Podcast Network, where we have close to 10 now, I think. There's a bunch of us, and there's different topics. There's something for everybody. So make sure you check out the Snohomish Podcast Network. We're going to get Anthony in there soon, I'm assuming, because I know we talked about you having a podcast
there
too.
It is.
But if you're looking to start a podcast, if you want to hear about what it means to start one up, be a part of something, listen, check us out, come to our meet and greets. We'd love to have you. I continue to appreciate the feedback, continue to appreciate seeing people wearing the merch. If I see you wearing it, I'm going to come over and say hi. Don't act weird because this big guy's coming up to you. It's like, that's my shirt. Anyway, but love y'all. Continue to be safe. I'm going to use that line real quick. And when we wise up, we rise up. Peace out.